I'm not a big talker on a lot of controversial parts, and I don't normally talk about cults much, but I've been watching this documentary called The Way Down: God, Greed, and the Cult of Gwen Shamblin. And I also saw the Lifetime movie about Gwen Shamblin called Starving for Salvation. I wanted to say, first of all, about Gwen Shamblin is what she did was not Christian at all. I know there's a lot of people that want to say Christianity is a cult, and I'm sorry, but what she did, I mean, Christians should not allow any of what all she did. And she created eating disorders. She had child abuse running rampant in there. She had suicides, people on drugs, and she just used it all as a mockery to God. And I just wanted to say that as a Christian, what you look like as a person is not what matters. What matters is what's inside of you. Okay? So, whatever, body size you are, God still loves you. And I will say that, being overweight and being underweight are very unhealthy. And, I would know I'm overweight, for instance. I'm trying to work on it. And I also wanted to say, because I had heard that she did not want anyone on antidepressants, but yes, she was fine with people using drugs, whatever, but she didn't want people on antidepressants. And to be honest, that was just utter stupidity. As a Christian who is currently taking Prozac, I am very thankful to have that. Do I depend on it? No. But I am glad that I have that medication because it has really helped me. Depression and all autism especially, but certain disabilities are not demons. Okay? Actually, all disabilities. Let me rephrase that. All disabilities are not demonic. Okay? I don't know where she got that from. That was just stupidity all in itself. It's insane what you heard of this woman. She followed something else that was in her head. And that usually happens when you're not close enough to God. And when you don't have the right spiritual leaders to talk to, or you don't ask right questions, or you go to somebody who's probably a proclaimed narcissist. And I'm not saying that every church is perfect, okay? Let me just go and say that right now. I actually had to switch churches because I was having a lot of issues. But you know what I did? I had to pray about it. I didn't sit there and just decide for myself, hey, let me just go out and do this. I didn't do that. And nobody really should just go and do their own way. You have to talk to people sometimes. You have to ask for advice. Gwen Shamblin didn't do that. She thought she heard a still small voice, but that still small voice was not what she was wanting to hear. It wasn't that voice. It was a different one. Sitting there telling her, the Holy Trinity is not real. And she's sitting there just writing it down and is like, I can't believe this. And it's sad. It really is. And I get what she was trying to do for the first half. I do. I get, wanting to lose weight. I get portion control and all that, but there was a different way around it. And you don't need to starve yourself, okay? Fasting is a total difference, okay? Fasting doesn't always have to be food. It can be games, for instance. It could be electronics. It could be music. It could be something that you really, really enjoy and you fast it for however long you want to do. It doesn't always have to be food. And Gwen Shamblin made it seem like that the thinner you were, the closer you were to God, and that's just not true in the slightest. And she even would starve people if they weren't losing weight like that. And that's not right. And to beat kids with glue sticks, like, do you know how bad that is? To beat a child with a glue stick. A glue stick is like what you would use for a hot glue gun. And if you smack it really hard on somebody, it'll break the blood through the skin. So you're thinking like taking it like a switch and just beating it on little kids. And I'm not saying that she did it, but she had other people do it, you know? And she had these parents actually cause manslaughter on their children. And it just made me so mad that, you know, she just faked it all, just brushed it off like, oh, this ain't nothing. And yes, I'm allowed to do a southern accent because she sounded just like that, and she's from my state. And no, we don't accept her. But she passed away on May 29th, 2021. Her and her husband and 5 other members of the church, they died in a plane crash. And while I want to say rest in peace, I just hope that people learn that just because you are a Christian, you don't listen to yourself. That's what causes these cults. That's what causes the self-righteousness and this narcissism. You have to listen to God first. You don't sit there and, you know, do all this. And I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, God told me to tell you. It's just been on my mind for a while about Gwen Shamblin, and I just finished watching the documentary about it, and I just wanted to come on here and say that because she gave Christians a very bad name. And Gwen Shamblin's not the first that's let that happen. Jimmy Swaggart was a good example. A lot of these televangelists, I'm not going to list who because I don't want a bunch of hate on me, but there are some out there, and you know there are, that are not good people. They're not good televangelists. They're fake. And I just wanted to say that because you need to probably learn to decipher. And if you have been to church and, you know, the pastors hurt you or church members hurt you, any of that, I'm sorry. I am so sorry. As someone who's had that happen to them before many times at church, I hate it. I hate it for anyone that's had to go through it, especially if you were abused sexually. Oh my gosh. I hate what happened to you. But I will say that is people in the church. Satan can attach himself to anything. And unfortunately, Satan knows the Bible better than any preacher. And sometimes people will come in there and do a bunch of things. So I guess what I'm here to say is please, if anyone hurt you in the church, don't hate God for that. I understand why you would want to, why you would ask God, but I try to see it like, you know, sometimes bad things happen to anybody and not for any good reason. I don't know why, but I still hope that everyone is okay and safe. And I hope also, like Gwen Shamblin's daughter, I hope she runs the church better because Gwen just ruined a lot of things. And I hope Elizabeth, she will help the church and maybe fix her mother's mistakes, and maybe Michael too. But that's all I really wanted to come on here and talk about, was about, you know, the difference between a cult and God, because a lot of cults are like that. But love you, little guys. God bless, and remember, this isn't goodbye forever, it's just goodbye for now. Bye.